Hi guys, today we're going to be doing a tutorial on how to make palettes for HyperDragonZ. I want to just say before we go on with the tutorial that I apologize for the audio. I'm recording at midnight, but I'm in the middle of a heat wave in the UK, so you can probably hear my fan in the background. Nevertheless, we will continue this tutorial. Now I will also say this tutorial works on Windows 10, Windows 11, and you can also run HyperDragonZ and all the other programs in this video via Linux through Wine. That can also be through Lutris and other things. But anyways, first of all, you're going to need Fighter Factory 3. You can find this link in the description. You just want to scroll down to the bottom of this post and download whatever version you need. As you can see, Linux, Windows. I've already downloaded mine, but you'll see it downloads as a RAW file. You're going to want to download WinRAR or 7-zip to extract this. Now, obviously, you're going to need the game. I'll leave a link in the description for this too, but you're going to want to visit the HyperDragonZ Discord, and you can download the game from these links. Also, a zip file which you need to extract with the aforementioned programs. Now, if you go to wherever you've put your Fighter Factory and HyperDragonZ, you can open Fighter Factory 3, and this is how it should look. You're going to want to select Open, go to your game, and for today, let's say we're going to do Goku. You click the .def file, which links to all the files for the character, and you're going to want to go onto this button, which is for sprites. And as you can see, we have Goku right here, and if you look towards the right, you can see palettes. Now, if I scroll through, you can see various palettes, not all of which are in game, but you'll see group and index. Now, look, we've got group 1, index 1, group 1, index 2, and it goes on. Group 1, index 1 through 12, those are for the first 12 palettes of Goku, which is your 12 buttons, that being A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and then those buttons alongside the star button. Now, to edit a palette, you can either go down to Palettes, Advanced Palette Editor, or, as you can see here, Control P. Now, this doesn't apply to every single character, and it may even be up to your preference, but what I like to usually do is click this icon to load an image file, and typically in the palettes folder there will be a palette template. Now obviously see here we haven't, but if I go to Super Saiyan Goku, you'll see, look, palette PNG, you can see all these different templates. Now, since Goku and Super Saiyan Goku is the same palette, I'm just going to load up the palette template for Super Saiyan Goku. You can ignore this part, don't worry about it. Press yes on this, and as you can see here, we've got a palette template. Now I'm just going to run through the different icons. You've got your opening image files you just saw, saving image file. Over here you've got saving palette files, but I will say, look, as you can see, the third icon is for saving into the character, and the second icon saves as an act file. You don't need an act file. I'm telling you this just so you know. You only need to save the images because most HyperDragonZ characters now do use images, not to load the palettes, but just to keep them saved. You can see, if I go back, you can see here all the palettes. You just click open image, you just load up a palette from your palette folder. You can see here Goku has some act files. Whether you save it as an act or a image, it still works as a palette. Image is just easier to share. But more importantly, if you go onto here, you can see I've picked the color dropper to find where each of these colors is from. Now let's pick the orange on Goku's gi. You can see it shows up here, and we're just going to change it to a bright blue, and you can see it changes now. That is the most basic thing you need to know, just how to change colors in here. Now I'm going to quickly make my own palette and then move on to how to save and load palettes. going to briefly pause and show you. There's also this tool here. These buttons, you can see it shows a definition when you hover over it, but these let you send colors back and forth between the palette on the left and the palette on the right. This allows you to save your colors, so you can reference your colors, copy them over other colors. You can also load an image here for reference. Alright, as you can see here, I've just made a simple palette of Goku with a blue gi and pinkish red under garments. Now, what you want to do is click this icon, save your palette as an image. Now, you can save it wherever you like. Usually I like to save it in the palette folder or my downloads where I can share it easily. Name it wherever you like. I'm just going to save it as Blue Goku. So we've got our Blue Goku PNG. If you want to go off that, and as I showed before, you can go onto here and load an image. Find your palette file, bluegoku.png. Oh, whoops. And now you can see the palette is inside the character files. So you scroll to the palette, you can see you've got your color palette right here. And if you click this to uncheck that when you move, it changes the sprite palette. You can scroll through the sprites and see how your palette looks on certain sprites. For example, maybe one sprite doesn't show the color on the waistband, but another one does, like this one, for example. Now, if you want, you can just save here, go into the game, load up your character with that palette. You can also quickly run in MUGEN and test the palette while you're still in Fighter Factory. Now, I haven't got it set up. What you'll need to do is go into Tools Options, link a MUGEN, like a MUGEN game folder, so you can set all that up. I'm not going to do that right now because we want to focus on palettes, but just letting you know, it's another easy way to test your palettes. Now that you've finished your palette, you can Control S, save, and we'll load up Hyper Dragon Ball Z. As you can see here, I've got Goku with this blue palette I've made. Fully works in game, everything's fine. That is everything you need to know about the basics of making, saving, and loading a palette on Hyper Dragon Ball Z. Now, I do want to make some final notes. If you go to some characters that have a different format, for example, if we open Super Saiyan Vegeta, this also applies to Super Saiyan Goku, Gotenks, I believe some other characters as well, but let's focus. Click this so we can get our main palette, because not every palette is in the first slot, as you can see here. But Super Saiyan Vegeta, he can go from Super Saiyan, scroll to level 12, extra palettes, blah blah blah, all the way to Super Saiyan Blue, and he also goes Super Saiyan Blue Evolution, right here. He also goes Super Saiyan God, but that's done through palettes. Anyways, I just want to make sure that when you make palettes for characters like these that have multiple transformations via palettes, make sure you save or you make palettes for every single transformation. In fact, if I go to palette editor, as we've shown before, and Vegeta actually has palette PNGs, so open up this palette. Obviously it's a different palette, but you can scroll through and change the palette back to the one you had before. You can see here Super Saiyan Blue, Super Saiyan God over here. So, you know, make sure you keep that in mind when making palettes for Vegeta, as well as I mentioned before, Super Saiyan Goku, Gotenks, characters like that. They use multiple palettes. Can be confusing, a bit long, but it's worth it. I do also want to add, if you really want to make some great looking palettes, you know, really get out there, you might want to look into color theory. For example, go into palette editor here, let's quickly show you what I'm talking about. For example, you can see here on the default palettes you've got orange, it moves a bit more towards red, stays there. Now, this all looks just, basic orange, but, maybe you want to get more crazy. You can do yellow as a highlight, transition it into orange. You can see here it already gets immediately more vibrant. So, you learn your color theory, you learn what colors mix and match, what hues, and stuff like that. You can make areas of your palette instantly more vibrant. I think that's everything you need to know about palettes. Again, I hope this tutorial was helpful, hope it was concise. Thank you for watching. Please share with anyone in the community if they need help, not just making palettes for Hyper Dragon Ball Z, but also making palettes for any MUGEN game, because a lot of these tips can apply to various MUGEN games.